Hey guys, Steve's on schizophrenia and traumatizing. Schizophrenia and traumatizing. But before we get to this, please allow my brief prelude. As you know, I conveniently recorded it for our mutual comfort, our mutual convenience, and our mutual luxury. And hey, listen, I'm no spring chicken. I know you're probably thinking right now, Robert, are you a spring chicken? And I say nay, 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 and I've been around a few preludes in my many years. I'm telling you, this prelude, it's got something particularly luxurious, like an ever luxurious, cow.
Hello there, my name is Robert Francis. You've
That was a
stumbled
question,
on my
right?
Conquering Schizophrenia YouTube channel.
Cow?
Where me and the bird. That's right,
The
right.
Definitive Schizophrenia Recovery Handbook. It's a handbook,
This is the cut of my jib right here.
not an elbow book,
Medical confidentiality.
on Amazon.
I'm a licensed clinical social worker times 15 years. That's
When I go to work, I pass some cows oftentimes. I know, it's weird. I always think, I wonder what it's like to be a cow. I do. I always think that.
Now to topic.
Schizophrenia can be traumatizing, but it's never really talked about. You go through psychosis over and over and over, and I do too. And it's like getting slammed against the wall emotionally when you go through psychosis. And you come through it, and you're supposed to be like, you lickety split and dust yourself off, and everything's okay. But sometimes psychosis can be very, very traumatic, emotionally traumatic. So much so that things in the future can trigger us and cause us to feel a re-trigger. And it's a traumatic trigger, not a psychotic trigger. And then we float back into psychosis. So it's the weirdest thing. It's never talked about. Psychosis, you think you go through psychosis and you get over it and you think everything is well and dandy. But boy, sometimes it can be traumatizing because it's excruciatingly painful, it's evil, it's malevolent, it's dark, dark, dark. It's the darkest dark I ever psychologically go through is psychosis. And you go through it over and over and over, and I think, it's traumatizing. And sometimes I say to myself, I feel traumatized going through psychosis over and over and over and over. However, that's no excuse at all for being lackluster and not being determined and not being persistent. A lot of people have trauma, but it's a different way to frame it and a different way to think about it sometimes. And sometimes when I get triggered, I get triggered by my trauma, not so much the psychosis, but then the trauma kind of often morphs into a psychosis and the cycle repeats. But psychosis can be very, very traumatizing because it's very evil and devastating and excruciating emotionally, and we go over and over and over again. But no excuse at all. We got to keep on going. There's a lot of people that have trauma. I just want you to acknowledge and empathize that you and I, we both go through it. And yeah, it can be traumatic. But is it an excuse? No way. We got no excuses. We persist like everybody else. We do dust ourselves off and we go forward and we claim victory over schizophrenia, but, nothing wrong with an acknowledgement. And that's very luxurious, like a cow. What's it like to be a cow? I always think that. They have no reflection on themselves. They just moo. Moo and graze. Must be great. What's it like to be a cow? All right, guys, enjoy the day. We'll see you next time.